Son of Celluloid is a attempt to try and get a little bit of exposure for underground cinema around here. I was offered the chance to do movies at the scrapyard of Bar Redux, and they wanted to start hosting horror films and doing stuff that's a little bit more off the beaten path, things that we may not even get an American premiere for. When we did that, I started looking towards making a night where once a month we could showcase movies that were really hard to get a chance to see in the theater, such as the recent Nicolas Cage movie Mandy, or films that maybe never even got to America, especially a lot of the Japanese and Korean horror films that are coming out. It almost always occurs at Bar Redux. We have the once a month when the weather does not get too bad. We have had a couple showings around the city, but it's kind of whenever we have a big event. So for example, the once a year Lugaru Festival, that usually will be about the only time that we use a different venue. So I'll tend to use more of the creature films, splatter films, things like early Peter Jackson work, monster films, things like that, simply because it's a little bit easier to create a cool design of a creature than it is to make an entire film where you never once break the buildup of atmosphere because you're discussing a paranormal idea. There's a lot of very cool films out there that I cannot get a copy of in America, or I can't afford it. For years, Rawhead Rex was a $100 film to buy. They recently released it for 15 bucks on DVD. Someone finally bought the rights again. I try and go for films that have not been in theaters in America at all, or have not been in theaters for a very long time, and I usually want to have a theme. So I'll do zombie films, or I'll do, monsters, or occult horror. A great example, again, going back to Mandy, I paired Mandy with The Void, which came out last year and is one of the best films I've seen in years. It's got great creature design, it's got a solid plot. Those two go well together, so usually I'll try and match the two movies on the night, just to give it a little bit more cohesion. There are 4 or 5 troops, companies, whatever you want to consider them, each doing their own bit to kind of help get more horror films and such around here. There's several yearly festivals. There was the NOLA Horror Film Fest, for example, very recently, and we all kind of have started coalescing and giving each other information back and forth, assisting with things. It just keeps it in the public eye that this is a town that advertises based off of its foothold in the occult community worldwide. It has a certain reputation for being a haunted town, for example, and in doing so, it almost seems like we really should have a large community here. I think we have a strong community, and I think that we've helped with that. We're definitely building a larger community.
It's a scary movie marathon. Bring a VHS from home so we can put her on the big screen. Only with the big screens.
Better pop some popcorn and don't forget my raisin nuts.
If we party all night, we'll be dead by dawn. Let's just have a scary movie marathon.
Grab a seat, the movie's about to start. Hyper bright images and that's what's faint or hard.
The lights are dimming, now they hardly glow. Everybody's seated, time to start the show.